Well, hello and welcome back to the TAO Manifesting Tarot. This is the weekend edition. It is called the TAO Trifecta. Tri meaning three. And so what we're doing is every weekend at this time, we are taking a look at the three main energies for the week ahead, dealing with health, wealth, and happiness. Those are the three most important things in everybody's lives. And so we take a look at the week ahead to see what kind of energies you're going to be swimming through. Alrighty? So how it works is we start from the left side, and you have the Oracle card in front with the vice versa card clarifying it in the back. So we begin left side. This is health. And you see here the Oracle card, flexible. Interesting. The number up on the card, if you notice in the upper right corner, is 19. That's 1 and 9. That's 10. That's the beginning. So, the continuing battle in terms of health wellness continues. And it looks like you're ready to try something new. Okay? You're just in the mood to say, let's kind of step off the reservation here a little bit and let's see what I can come up with. So you have to be flexible. So there's been something in your health regimen, and we're not just talking physical health, mental health, spiritual health, something in your regimen that has been maybe a little too restrictive. You don't know that going in. I mean, you're experimenting, right? Life is an experiment. You go through it, you go, this works, this doesn't work, and you kind of make adjustments. Well, same kind of thing going on with your health in this next week. You need to be flexible. You need to change up something, not dramatically, but you got to loosen up a little bit. And of course, what's the card behind this clarifying? Well, the card is the King of Cups. King of Cups, vice versa card. And it is facing forward. It is the only one of the vice versa cards this week facing forward. So it means, you got to give yourself a little extra love, somehow, some way, in terms of your health regimen. You got to change it up, maybe being a little gentle with yourself. After all, that's what the King of Cups is, right? Tolerant, caring, helping others, and a very subtle influence. So it's not a big deal. But maybe it's allowing for things like, for example, on the weekend, your schedule is different. Maybe you make it a point every weekend to sleep in. Instead of maybe getting this 6, maybe 7 hours, maybe you go for 9 or 10 on Saturday or Sunday, or both days. And see what kind of a difference that makes, or change your eating style, something like that. You need to loosen up a little bit in your health style, and you need to be a little bit more supportive of yourself. Let's go to the middle. This is the wealth section. The card is mending. Mending. The number up in the right-hand corner, 52, 5 and 2, 7. 7 has kind of an internal, kind of a spiritual quality to it. So in terms of your wealth, and again, don't just think money. Yes, I know we live in a 3D world, and yes, I know the dollar is important just to carry on commerce, but stop and think about what money doesn't buy you. It can't buy you health. It can't buy you happiness. It can't buy you love. Oh, it can rent it, I suppose, for a while, but can't buy it for you. So I want you to think more broadly in terms of your wealth. But there's something in terms of your wealth, your value system, that needs some mending or adjusting. It's been broken. And maybe it wasn't you who broke it. Maybe it's what's going on in society right now. I mean, I know in California, there is a law that is being seriously considered right now in Sacramento, their state capital, where they would force all of the independent truckers in California to quit. It doesn't make any difference whether it's their company or not. If it's your company, you sell it and you get out. You work for somebody who's an independent trucker, you're going to lose your job if the law passes within the next year or two. Because they want just the big guys, the big truckers to exist. The little guys, they want to push out of business. Well, so that's wealth, right? You got to make some adjustments. And the vice versa card right behind mending is the Queen of Cups. We just had the King of Cups for your health, for your wealth. It's the Queen of Cups, and she's in reverse. In other words, there is something happening with your value system that you want to change, you want to adjust, you want to fix. You're not doing it yet. You're still in the process of thinking it out. Keep thinking it out. Keep working it out. You're going to get some kind of enlightenment, something that will allow you to mend your wealth or your value system. Okay? It really, in terms of your wealth, this is the week to listen to you. Trust the gut. Next card over on the right-hand side, buy the book.
Attention.
Buy the book. Very interesting. Buy the book. Up in the upper right-hand corner, number 11. Okay? That is special. That's not just simply a 2. That is a special. There's kind of a destiny sort of a thing here. So in terms of your happiness, this feels more long-term. This is not just a quick kind of, well, make me feel better for now. This is some sort of a sea change. You want to make a difference that will affect positively the rest of your life. Of course, the vice versa card in back is the King of Swords in reverse. So again, this is something that you're thinking about. You're trying to work out the details. If you're going to do something by the book, my guess is you're going to write your own book. And that's what's taking time to figure out, how do I find my happiness? Happiness is such an elusive thing. You sit down with somebody and say, well, what's real happiness? And they'll have a hell of a time trying to explain it to you. I mean, they'll kind of get around it and kind of touch parts and pieces of it, but peace is and happiness is very elusive. It comes and goes. So I think we're looking at something much more sustaining than just peace. Maybe it's contentment. Maybe it's joy. Maybe, I don't know. This is what you're thinking about. This is what you're working about. Because again, the King of Swords is in reverse. This is not an active phase in the usual sense. This is a thoughtful phase. So when you take a look at the TAO Trifecta for this week for health, wealth, and happiness, health is very simple. You got to be a little bit flexible. You'll know what to do. You'll take care of business. You'll treat yourself a little more lovingly, a little more supportively. And again, it's not going to be a big deal. Like I said, it could be sleeping in on a Saturday just because, I'm not going to drag my butt out of bed until I feel like it. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Or I'm going to get out there and maybe exercise a little bit. Or I'm going to watch my diet or something. It's not going to be a big deal, but it will have a very positive, profound effect. But it means loosening up. That's health. Wealth, on the other hand, is trying to put parts and pieces together, fix pieces. And it is a process right now because the vice versa card is in reverse, and reverse always means you are thinking about it, you're contemplating it. It's a Queen of Cups. Again, the idea of loving yourself. Okay? So if we're talking wealth, which is also your value system, maybe it's being a little gentler with yourself overall. Maybe you're not the screw-up that you think you are, or sometimes you feel that you are, although the world around you often loves to make you feel that way. So you need to be a little bit gentler with yourself. And so again, the idea of loving yourself in the first two cards, first two sections, health and wealth, very evident, very positive. And the final one, you change the energy, you begin to do more thinking about buy the book. And I do feel very strongly you're going to rewrite your book for you. You're not going to pay attention to people outside. You've done that. Hyper attention over the past 3 years, at least maybe your whole life. It's a funny thing. How many people these days say, help, make a decision for me. Help me make a decision. I can't make a decision. Well, first of all, that's cowardice. Because if you make a decision, you are taking ownership, right? You can't blame anybody else. You just did that. The other thing is you're letting fear run your life, which again is cowardice. Being afraid in life is normal. Not letting you act, that's a problem. So you're going to write your own book, but you're thinking about how you're going to write, what you're going to write. You're putting that together as you are in terms of mending your value system. Of course, you're ready to go forward with your health system. But I think in terms of dealing with your health and wealth, love yourself a little more. value yourself a little more. And when you do that with your health and wealth, all of a sudden the happiness part begins to come together. And you can put the parts and pieces so that you write your own book of life. Your rules for you. Do not give up your authority. Because if you give up your authority, you are a slave. And if you are a slave, you are never free, subsequently never happy, subsequently never work to your full potential. You know, you've heard the phrase, maybe. You know, you got to go along or get along to go along or something like that. No, you don't. Not always. Not always. And part of the reason why the world is in the shape it's in is because you and I and others have sit and watched and done nothing. Life is meant to live. Doesn't mean you have to solve all the problems of the world. Work on your own. That's enough. That's plenty. This week, in terms of health, wealth, and happiness, the key is be a little gentle with yourself, love yourself, support yourself, and you'll figure out how to rewrite your book of life. So there you go. Tomorrow we're going to be back with the usual TAO Manifesting Tarot, but I like doing this on the weekends. The TAO Trifecta, health, wealth, and happiness, and those energies for the week ahead. Hope you enjoy too. You're the reason I do it. So between now and tomorrow, or the next time you and I have a chance to manifest tarot together, peace and blessings.